raise my eyes to the wild blue yonder that came.
Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. All right, I'm going to get into a couple things after listening to about 10 videos tonight. It's horrible what people are brainwashing people with. I'll tell you this. I only deal with the truth. Only the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. I do everything in the name of God. So if I do something wrong, I am fully responsible for it. And I'm not like 90%, 99% of the UFO people or so-called spiritualists or whatever you have it, titles they give themselves as like the top or the best or whatever. I have been involved in UFOs all my life. I'm not going to go into my whole life story, but I was dealing with aliens, UFOs since I was 6 years old. I've worked with it. I did hypnosis and past life regression and psychic implant removals with women. I work with women that had serious abduction problems. I do a show every Tuesday with a woman that's been abducted most of her life. Her book's becoming one of the best sellers around the world in the UFO world on abduction. People, I'm going to go into the facts. If you don't want the truth, don't listen. I'm doing it in the middle of the night or late at night because I'm going to put this out everywhere, and the people that want to hear it will listen. If they don't, they don't. But let's start with a simple thing. We hear people saying aliens are good. We have a name out in the UFO world, Stephen Greer, who has been active, yes, trying to create a word disclosure, even though disclosure happened a long time ago. Disclosure means exposing something. Well, aliens exposed themselves to the United States government, Russian government, and Chinese government many, many years ago. They exposed themselves to many different people as well. So disclosure on Stephen Greer's idea of it is like the whole world has to know, well, that's never going to happen. How many people in the whole world know a certain person or a certain thing? They're worried about eating and trying to find a place to live and things like that. They don't have time to listen to stories. And in the UFO world, sorry, 99% of everything we hear is twisted truth. So when they talk about aliens, they have no real idea what's going on. Now, here's what bothers me the most. It's 2023. We're going into 2024. We got about 6 years before we go into UN Agenda -30, meaning one world order. Half of the population will be gone. And that's going to happen, whether we like it or not. We got Trump trying to come back in. We have a lot of things. We got wars going on all over. We got riots going on all over. We're in chaos, people. But here's the thing I just found out, people. I don't know if you know what CERN, C-E-R-N, stands for, or what it is. It's in Switzerland, and it actually connects 3 countries. It was the most dangerous device on the planet. When it's turned on, it creates a magnetic field, and this is no lie, 3 times greater than the magnetic field of the Earth. Nobody ever talked about that. Now, the thing that they are talking about right now, I can't even say his name, the Japanese scientist, is crying. They shut it down. It had a serious problem, and it kind of caused a serious problem to the world right now. Released all kinds of energy and particles that they have no clue what they are, because they were trying to create a black hole to go through. They had suits made, and they were ready to jump into this black hole. They said they created a little one. And now that the reactor kind of didn't completely explode, but whatever happened, ruptured, it's completely radioactive, just so you know on the inside. They got an ice chamber that keeps it cool so it doesn't melt down. But if it does, it's a problem. And something happened, and it did. So you're not going to hear much about that publicly because the world can't do a thing about it. It's like a nuclear reactor melting down. All right. Now, that's just one little thing going on right now. People around the world are seeing these giant auroras, like an aurora borealis. When you see that, it's not good. It may be pretty, but what it really is radiation in the air. Now, where does aliens fit into all this? Okay, they're saying, well, we're going to learn to talk to aliens, the disclosure, we're going to meet with aliens, and the government's going to come out and say what they do with aliens and show the world and stuff. That's not going to happen the way people want it. Aliens have been here forever. Now, let me give you a little bit past history, people. Aliens have been here thousands and thousands and thousands of years before the human race came to this planet. They don't stay here. They come and go. They come and kill every race that they bring here. Why? Who knows? They feed them false information. Now, all the tribal people, the Mayans, the Aztecs, and all the other ones along with it, including the native people, were fed such false truth. The native people in the United States were working with the Greys. And they swear they were helped by aliens. Well, guess what? There was 50 million native people, now there's less than 1 million. Guess they didn't help them too good. The Egyptians, sorry people, they were given such false information when they killed themselves or when they buried somebody, what they did to the bodies and everything so that they can reincarnate. All of it was lies, people. Aliens played with them, fed them such ridiculous things, and they did it. They believed it. Aliens like playing God. They don't know what a God really is, but they like playing it. Now, before aliens were here, there was deities, and they are real as well. But they kind of don't work with this planet no more. They gave up. But, going to the first religion, which was Hinduism, Shiva was the main one because there was many. There was over 100 and something, 150. But he was the main one. And basically, it was all sexual in that time frame. They Kama Sutra and all the words they created about sex. And then the phallic symbol was based on Shiva cutting his penis off. Seriously. And women had to give their blood to that. So it's ridiculous. Shiva wasn't an alien. Deities are not aliens. Aliens are not deities. Aliens are not angels. Angels are not deities or aliens. So, with that, let's move on with aliens. There's interdimensional beings which are not aliens. Aliens drive in a ship. They're not light beings. They drive around in a ship. All right. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but aliens are physical. They breathe air and they eat. Alien races usually eat humans. People, whether you want to hear that or not, people don't talk about it. The second most important UFO story was Phil Snyder's story. And very few people even mention it, talk about it, or even accept it. Pull his site up and listen to his story, people. He was killed 6 months into his lecturing around the United States. All right. Aliens are real. I'm going to keep saying that. Aliens are real. And they're really here. All right. They've been here for a long time. They have never helped us in any way. Pyramids did not help humans. Ever, people. And the human race is so infatuated with it. Ancient aliens been talking about pyramids for 15 years, still saying the same stupid things. Aliens helped them build it. So what? What did they do with it? What was it built for? Really? Well, bringing energy in. To what? To do what? This world was always hell. It still is, people. But the races that came and went, giants were here. And the truth is, the one part of the Bible, the Enoch was taken out, David and Goliath, but he killed the giant. Just one. That was all the story was based on in the Bible, but they cut the whole book out. There were many giants here, which were killed because they were doing numbers on the little people. But who brought them here? They were all brought here, people. They didn't come on a meteorite, crash into the planet, turn into a cell, turn into a caveman, and then turn into a human, or turn into a fish first and butterfly. Any of those things? No, that didn't happen. You can believe what you want. You can believe the lies. Evolution? In 100,000 years, we did not change. And a matter of fact, we just got more ignorant. Technology doesn't mean anything important because we don't need it. We never did. Atlantis was the most incredible time on this planet for humans. There were 9 races here. 2 alien races didn't like it because it was the Garden of Eden, really. And they couldn't deal with that. They couldn't make them slaves, so they destroyed Atlantis. Well, before it was destroyed, 5 races left. I was there. I can tell you the truth. 5 races left. 4 stayed. Had to. The red, black, yellow, and white races stayed. And during that time frame, aliens were reprogramming them. They did not create them. The Anunnaki are not God, never were. Just another stupid story Zachariah Sitchin brought out to the public and made the UFO world believe it. The Anunnaki, Inky, was never a god. None of those beings were God, ever. Shiva was the highest deity, much higher than these so-called alien gods. But he left. Everything left this planet because it's hell. Now, guess what? God left something in power on this planet, in this realm, meaning all the planets and stars in our solar system and galaxy. His name's Satan, not Lucifer, people. Lucifer was one of the highest fallen angels who dwells in the astral plane. He's in charge of it. There's 3 deities that control the astral plane, which mean they control who goes past the astral plane. Which is your goal, people. Every soul that comes to this realm, the goal is to get closer back to God's worlds. Because the closer you get, the more incredible it becomes. Aliens don't want that, and so does Satan. He wants people to stay here, because here he controls people. You know, little by little, he gives everybody what they want. Oh, he's bad. He doesn't. It's not the way you believe Satan is. Picture him as a good alien. He gives you everything you want. Drugs, cheap drills, sex, all right? Things that are useless like sports. All these things that keep mankind here. And the number one thing for men is called TOYS, toys. All they care about is making a better toy. Same as the aliens. They just want a better ship. Now, if you follow Billy Meyer, who was the first person to go really public with videos of UFOs, the ships that he showed, he screwed himself because he did a lot of fake imagery and stuff like that. He created a fake ship. He was famous. People went out there to buy him out and take him as their person to work with. Shirley MacLaine went out there, tried to buy him out. Fred Bell, who's a really cool guy, they brought him to the United States with Sean David Martin. He only stayed a couple of weeks. They tried to keep him here. But he did work with aliens, but he did fake many things. In all his videos, the ships just go around in circles over his house. He showed a picture of a person from Mickey Mouse Club and said it was one of the aliens. That's how it started, how he started getting twisted. But in the interim, I was born in 1952. That was the year the UFO fleet of UFOs went over the White House. All right, by the time I was 12, Hudson County, New Jersey, a ship landed right smack in the middle of the park in the morning. Everybody was fishing there. And when it landed, it just took right back off and up. And it broke a lot of the windows in the giant projects that were near the park. It was public, but nobody cared. They just had to fix their windows, and that's all they cared about. But the UFO world has never been good, ever, in any time in history. Aliens need a few things. This is the things aliens need, people. Nothing else. Blood, semen, ovaries, and least, at last, the least bit people want to hear or don't want to know is called food. Food. Human food, meaning people. All right, you don't hear UFO people talking about that. Fred Bell was one of the top people in that realm because he was dealing with an alien race. He created a lot of things. He actually created the HARP system and worked on it. But I mean, he worked on it, but it was created by Tesla. But he was the one that worked on it and actually created it, which is the most deadliest weapon on the planet. Except, like I said, CERN exploded or whatever really happened. I'm not going to say because it caused a serious problem to the world. To the world. All right. Aliens have been here forever. What did they do for the human race? Nothing. Do they help people? No, they don't. I mean, when a person gets abducted people, they get taken for a reason. For their blood, for their ovaries, for their semen. All right. They're not taken for food in general if they're brought back. Many people don't come back. It could be for both food and pollinating themselves because the Greys are dying out, or they were. They created another world, just like this, where they actually started a new race where they're putting their race. All right. The tall whites are good in a very limited way. They wanted to help the United States government, and the government refused. But people say they see not the tall whites, but what are they called? They're the average 8-foot, blonde hair, blue eyes. The Nordics. They're not good either, people. And you hear all these stories. Oh, I work with the Nordics. I work with the Mantis. I work with the Greys. I work with all these ridiculous races that are not good. They don't come here to work with people. What could they teach you, people? And if they did, wouldn't it help the world if they taught us anything? I mean, even if they helped us build the pyramids, they didn't help us build anything today. But let's go on from there. The secondary word in the UFO world, which is ridiculous, people, and you need to know it, is called I'm an experiencer, claiming they had an experience in their bedroom. Aliens came, took them around the universe, took them for dinner, took them here, there, and there. It's a program. All right, just like Corey Good. He said, well, the alien showed him videos of the past, present, and future. He lied about the future already. He doesn't know what he's talking about because they fed him false images. I can get into it, but I'm not. The government can create a machine that actually could record your dreams. Just so you know. But here's the thing, people. All the people that get abducted are abducted, taken without permission. Now, an experiencer creates the story or is programmed by an alien race. Oh, they took me out of my room and brought me on a ship and they traveled through the universe. They showed me all these other galaxies. They showed me this. It's a great mind program. But they didn't do that. They take things from people. They don't give things to people. Now, this is something nobody knows, really. I'm one of the few people that know it's for real and it's not a joke. A famous mind reader, psychic, was friends with John Lennon. They were in a concert in New York City. I forgot what rock band was playing. And he goes to him, John, why don't you go up and play with them? And he goes, maybe I will. And he hands this person a stone. He said, aliens gave it to me. I don't want it. And he went on stage and played. 2 weeks later, he was killed in New York City. All right. Whether it was good or bad for John Lennon, nobody knows. I don't know. Because once he gave it up, he was killed. Maybe it was a protection. The government was after John Lennon for 10 years straight. because he could create world peace, and they were afraid of that for sure. So they were harassing him all the time about going back to his country where his one child was and everything else. And when Ono came into the picture, the Beatles got screwed up. But let's forget about that. John Lennon was abducted. He admitted it. He hates aliens. All right. I mean, he admitted he saw aliens in New York City when it happened, but he never said the experience, because I don't even think Ono. I've been writing to her trying to get her to talk, but she won't say a word. Or I don't know if she even knew if John actually told her. But aliens have been here forever. Never did something positive for planet Earth. Now, let's take it further. What did they teach us? Well, like I said, when the Greys worked with the native people, what did they teach them? Nothing. When the Egyptians were working with alien race, I'm sure they were working with more than 2 races, but they were fed such false information. Everything inscribed and drawn on the walls about reincarnation and everything they did is a lie. I mean, they did it thinking they were going to reincarnate, but it's not the way it doesn't help people reincarnate, right? And it's not the right way to die. All right. So all the teaching they gave the Egyptians did not help them in any spiritual way. No alien race has helped any race in a spiritual way, never mind for benefit of the human race. Now, aliens came here a long time ago. What races were they working with? Every race that's gone. Giants, the races before that. Now, we did not come from cavemen. All right. Brains were different. And just so you know, funny how dolphins are the only creature on the planet, well, that we know of anywhere in the universe, but we don't know about, well, we do, but I'm not going to get into it. But the dolphin's brain is about a 1/4 inch smaller than a human's brain. It's exactly the same. They use different parts of it. They use radar. They use sonar. Now, I got into a big debate with a couple people recently. Dolphins can speak 150 words. They're intelligent. When they're given a sentence, they can do it. Like when it comes to using their radar or sonar, they're told to x-ray a box, pick which one has a cube or a diamond or a square, and they'll pick the right one and come back and bring it back. So they understand us. They're like having sex with humans, or try to, many times, even in the circuses or the carnivals, whatever you want to call it. The dolphin shows and things like that. But they're very human. They are mammals. They give birth, and their baby has to drink milk and stuff. So they're very close to us. But they don't have arms and legs. They travel in pods. They travel in families. And they're very intelligent. They use radar and sonar to stun a fish to eat it. So they're much different than we are because of where they are. But why do they have a human brain? All right, compared to every other animal out there. Monkeys have a little brain, just so you know, and the maximum they could speak is about 50 words. But you don't hear that. I did research on this when I was young. I did a science fair project for school on dolphins. I went to every library. I met the trainer of Flipper. I actually fed Flipper a fish. I thought they were the most incredible creatures on the planet, which they are. But we allow every country to eat them and slaughter them, the same as the whales. What does that show you for mankind and how they think? Why would we allow that? Why do we do that? Why would we eat a dolphin? I'm not talking about the fish. There's a dolphin fish, which is incredible eating, and there's very few in the ocean, and to eat one of them is really a gift. But they feed dolphins to children in schools. They got whale restaurants all over the world. I'm sorry, all over in Japan. So why? Why do we allow that? Why are we friends with them? You know, we get all these things, fight this, fight that, killing this animal, killing that. Why are people such evil beings? Well, I will tell you, after Atlantis went down, all right, the beings that were here left were programmed. Man was programmed by alien races to kill, to eat animals, torture and fight and all those things, which we didn't do. Atlantis was the Garden of Eden. The only time planet Earth was in harmony with itself, with the people. All right. I don't know exactly. I was only there a period of time, but it was incredible. You didn't have to talk. You had the telepathy. You had all 32 abilities, which is called a person that went through ascension. But basically, when you do, nobody lied, nobody cheated. You couldn't steal, couldn't rob, didn't hurt people. It was incredible. But guess what? Aliens didn't like that. And aliens are controlled by Satan. So guess what? We can't allow that. That's too positive. These people will go to heaven, and we don't want them to leave. So you give people karma. Buddha was great into the word karma. All right? And karma means you will stay here as long as you keep creating it. Which is what Satan does by giving you everything you want. Drugs, sex, sports, cheap thrills, all these things that give you excitement and thinking Earth is great. But look at the wars, look at the battles, look at the killing and torture. Now they're going to outlaw birth control, right? Why? They want to eliminate the population. You have to think further. You have to go down the rabbit hole and take something as far as you can in your mind. Why would they do something that goes against what they want to do? So you have to look in the long run. It doesn't go against what they want to do. There's going to be a food shortage. So the more people here, the more people are going to die. The more riots, the more fights, the more things will be going on. Everything has a reason. The government's not stupid, people. The United States government, not Mr. Trump or Biden, the secret government is not stupid. UN MJ-12, it's now MJ-32. They are the ones that control everything about UFOs, aliens, and everything in between. All right. Money issues. The United States has more money than the world does. And they're pleading poverty because it affects people, the poor and low middle income people. It's not about rich people. The Constitution was created for the rich people. This has nothing to do with good, bad, or indifferent. Not for the normal person. It's bad only. Constitution is not a good thing. Freedom. Thomas Jefferson went around killing every tribe he could while he was talking about freedom. Freedom for who? Now, people, aliens have been here. But who did they work with? What did they do? Why are they here? Like I said, I told you the reasons why they're here. They could stop a war. They could stop everything. The Day the Earth Stood Still is probably my most favorite movie, but it's basically what could happen if an alien was good. All right. If an alien was good, which they are not. Stephen Greer, the biggest liar in the UFO world, said they offered him $4 billion, I think it was $3 billion to walk away from the UFO program. Anybody that was offered that money didn't take it. Well, guess what? They'd have to be mentally disturbed. Well, I can't do the UFO world if I take the money. No, he could have built cities around the planet on UFO cities and stuff without him being in charge. But his ego, which is all he runs on, they tried killing him and they did this and they did that. A government wants you taken out. You're taken out, people. Phil Snyder's story is incredible. Read it. The government had to take him out. John Ford, who's still alive in the nut house in Long Island, shot the best video of a UFO crash a long time ago. I saw it. He sent 4 copies around the world, and then he was arrested. They said he was insane because they couldn't let him go to trial or he would have released the video. He's still in a nut house. All right. The UFO people aren't trying to get him out. I wonder why. You know, these people in the UFO world are in it for one reason, people, whether you want to know it or not. Just money. disclosure. We want everybody to know UFOs are real. I'll give you a book for free. How to see a UFO field manual. Just text me, write me. Hawksblood1AOL.com. It's free. It's a manual. It's about 200 pages. But it tells you the steps to go see a UFO. And I promise you, if you read it and do what it says, you'll see a UFO. That's simple. It's not complicated. But the idea that Stephen Greer goes on about the good aliens and we got to go out and do meditation and talk to them. Well, when one important fact, if it comes out from an alien, it would be amazing because it didn't. They can't tell us anything important. They could do it if they wanted to. Aliens have technology. Now, I'm going to throw this in. Well, Mr. Putin was talking to Mr. Trump before Trump was elected. Not personally, on TV, public TV in Russia. He said, Mr. Trump, I want you to tell the world what really happened at 9/11. Does anybody really know? Can anybody really say? No, of course not. But he said, I want you to tell the world what really happened. I want you to tell the world what you're doing with aliens. And this was 3 months before Trump was elected. Why would he say that? All right, but he said, okay. And Mr. Putin said, we are working with 27 alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. How would he know that, people? United States, one of the big names in the UFO world, Bob Dean. He lectured, he talked, and he spoke about how he worked for the secret government. There were 27 races that they work with, and blah, 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 to describe how they smell and everything else. He went into the whole thing. The 27 is the number. But getting back to they want to destroy the world, how would they know that? Well, people, what the UFO people refuse to talk about is the war that the United States has with aliens. Phil Snyder is one of the stories on the planet, but there were 3 wars in space, people. The truth is in a book, and it's called Sands of Time by Sean David Martin. Read it. It's one of the most important books in the UFO world next to Fred Bell's book. All right. If you want all the facts, all the truth, the person goes, all right, Enki coming out and channeling some alien saying blah, blah. Everything he says is a twisted lie. All these people claiming they're getting the information from who, what, and where. Aliens don't give us anything positive, ever. Nothing to save us. Getting back to we have been working with aliens only for one reason, weapons. Now, basically when they were working, who we want to start with, Fred Bell was working with Billy Meyer's alien friends. He came out with a pyramid that's a nuclear reactor. The company's going out of business today on my birthday. But there's like 24 hours to buy them. Paradigm, go online. His nuclear reactors, you wear them. They're necklaces. They protect you from a lot of energy and things like that. But he created it from being on a ship with Billy Meyer's friends, Pleiadians. All right. We don't hear much about them. People don't work with them because they don't work with us. We shot down one of their ships. They said, you shoot one more of our ships down, we will destroy the United States or whoever shoots us down. So they're kind of not like friends, really, and we don't hear anything about them anymore, except their spaceships that Billy Meyer showed. They're like our antique cars. They don't use ships like that now. The same as we progress. I hate to give you so much information because you're not going to believe any of it anyway. We have 2 ships that are capable of going to Mars, Delphi and the Aurora. All right, they're out there, but nobody knows much about them, really. Fred Bell worked on them, and he's dead. But people, getting back to aliens, they have been here. They do nothing for the human race, do nothing for this planet, but they do want it. When I said back to Putin, when he said, tell the world what happened, he met with Trump. Do you remember that? They were in a closed room for a couple hours the day after Trump came out and created the space army. even though he doesn't believe in aliens or anything else. People, do you listen? Do you follow what's being given to you? Of course not. Religions have become twisted at every level. I do classes on spiritualism. I don't claim to be spiritual, because when I attain it, I'll be gone. There's no reason to stay in hell if you're spiritual. Well, I'm going to save mankind. No. Look at the people who tried. Look at the people that think they did or tried to. Jesus was killed mostly by his own people. People don't want the truth because the truth is not positive in their mind. It's not loving, beautiful, and blah, blah, blah. All right. I'm going to go into that a little bit after I finish. Let's get over aliens here. So, I saw my first alien when I was 12. I saw my first ship coming to abduct my brother when I was 6. In the past 70, well, not 70, about 60 years, 62 years, I saw all kinds of UFOs. Next to one, the alien came in my house. The ship landed in my yard. My friend and me chased the alien with a bat. We were little. We were stupid. But luckily, the alien didn't kill us or nothing. People, do you want the truth from people that experience it? Do you want it from people that dream and tell stories? Having a witness is pretty important in a lot of things, people, if you want other people to believe the story. Because when you say, well, I was this and I was that, well, could have been dream, could have been drugs, it could have been anything. When even Bigfoot came out, oh, this guy had to be drunk, this guy. In Jersey, the second X-File movie that came out was about the Jersey preacher. All right? X-Files was always real stories, people. Now, I'm going to throw this in. If you watch the movie, the first movie, X-File movie, it has a lot of facts in it. I'm not going to go and explain it all to you because I was friends with somebody from MJ12 who was involved with that. But there's so many facts in that movie that are incredibly important to know. All right. They're not good. No alien race is good to what we perceive as the word good. If you have no feelings and emotions, good and bad is a lot different than a person that has feelings and emotions. Well, if I operate on your body and you're in pain, who cares? But if you operate on a person, oh, they're going to feel pain, they're going to feel this. It's different. Aliens have no feelings and emotions. That's why they're not helping us. They don't care about us. You think they would help us stop war? Think they would help us from stopping killing children, selling children, abusing children, and all the things that are going on? Watch The Day the Earth Stood Still again. The first one, not the second one. Because the second one was a reject movie. I mean, it was good if you're looking at it as a regular movie, but if you're looking at it as a remake of the first one, it was horrible. The first one, an alien comes with a person, and they say, either you change the world right now, or we'll destroy the world. Plain and simple. All right? You give a motive and a motivation to change. And that helps much more than to, well, do what you want. It's a free country. It's a free world. No, it's not. Nothing's free. This world's hell. You pay for everything you get and everything you do. Good, bad, or indifferent. Not many people do good things. When a multi-billionaire donates $10 million, even $100 million, you think that's good? Tax write-off for them. I mean, they don't even pay taxes and things like that. So guess what? It's not a good thing, really. When one person thinks they can change reality, they become God in their mind. Tesla was working with an alien race. I tried for 25 years to find out what race he worked with, but I can't. I can tell you the facts about it, but I can't tell you what race that was. Because New Jersey, had the most important UFO disaster in the world. I'm not going to get into that today either. But it was in New Jersey. Tesla was working with DuPont in an underground base where Mr. Sargell 18 and I were working doing UFO work for 6 years, filming every kind of ship, creature, entity on this ground where Tesla was underground with DuPont. He wasn't alive when we were there, but he did work there with them. And something incredible happened. bad. I'll do a story on that, not today. But aliens have never brought us anything to save us, help us. All the weapons they gave Tesla are deadly, destroying the planet. Now, the most deadliest thing ever given to the human race was time travel. Einstein was completely wrong. He was working with an alien race. Even in his notes, he said it. People, he wasn't a genius. He didn't go to college and learn all this stuff. He stole so much from other countries as well. But Tesla was working directly with aliens in the physical. So he was given 200 inventions, 50 of the most deadliest weapons on the planet. And the HARP system was one of them. Time travel is the most serious. Now, the whole Philadelphia experiment came out of that. All right. And that caused a serious problem to the world. To the world. The government can't change it either. Well, when they did time travel, they opened up a vortex and it allowed all these entities and demons and creatures and everything into this world. And if you watch the ghost and alien shows now, or UFO, or demons, whatever, all these shows on, you're going to see videos of creatures and all kinds of weird things coming out now. Because Mr. Tesla gave an invention to people who used it and opened up a doorway to hell. To hell, meaning the lower part of the astral plane. All right, and all these demons and creatures and entities are coming in. They're not somebody's bad dream. They're real. If you watch these shows, they're filming it. Not solid crystal, but I work with a person that could film it anywhere we go. They can film pictures of the demons, the creatures, the aliens, and everything else. But the person can't go public. I'm not going to say why or how, but I saw so many things. If the world knew the truth, they'd lock themselves in the house and never go out. The recreational places like the parks all around the United States, do you know how many people go missing? All right. In this world, there's alien bases around every army base on the planet. Aliens can't live above ground, just so you know. They live underground. All right. But they put a base next to every army base, every base that we have, and every other country. In doing so, they have been around every war. And guess what happens in a war? They can take as many bodies as they want. They can take as many people as they want. I can go into that if you want the truth one day. My ex-girlfriend was in Vietnam on the front line for 2 years and had to be discharged because she was dealing with a breakdown. All she did was clean young bodies all day long. But she went back and later on, many years later, and the underground people brought her to underground bases that they had. She was taken to where they have 12 prison camps of U.S. American citizens. And I guess it was 94 when Rocky the movie came out, when they went back to Vietnam and saved people. It was based on the facts they knew. They knew there was more people locked up in prisons over there. She came back with 240, somewhere around there, name tags of the tags that they had in this building where they kept all the skulls of the U.S. people they killed. She brought 2 skulls back, too. And that's a real story, people. I'm not going to get into it any more than that. But do the government care about things like that? No. Why? They don't care about people. Who's controlling the government? Who's going to control the New World Order? Now, people, I got to throw this out because people are saying this, that, and the other thing. There's a video online called the Alien Interrogation. It's real. Watch it, people. It's a short part of a long video that went on of them torturing this alien, trying to get him to tell the truth. He tells a lot, but he is feeding false information to the world. Just so you know. But he does say one person's going to destroy the planet. And they were trying to make him say who that person is. And he says, I can't. I don't know. But one person's going to destroy the planet. Watch it. Because that'll show you a real alien being interrogated. And these stupid people in the UFO world, well, maybe we'll see a ship. Maybe we'll get a ship to come down and talk to us. We're beyond that. We're 100 years beyond that, people. Wake up. The facts are there. The evidence is there. You go out with a camera, I tell you, I'll send you my book, and you'll be able to film UFOs. Now, I get into it. Do you want to call aliens down into your reality? Because they know when people take pictures of them, they either let them or they don't. Most cases. I learned a trick how to capture a UFO with them not allowing you to take a picture. But they know when you're shooting them. Because you'll be filming it, it just blinks out and it's gone. I was filming a ship blinking at me 120 times in about 10 minutes. And then it stopped, and I looked at my camera. It was stone frozen. The most coolest things I never filmed because they don't let you. They're intelligent in that way. They got psychic abilities greater than we do. Does that make them spiritual? Of course not. They don't have a God. They don't have feelings and emotions. They have a brain, they have a mind, and all they care about is technology. All right. People, I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to tell you lies. I'm not here to make you feel good because the truth is never good. If you're in hell, what good would you want to hear? Oh, a baby was saved today. While they're killing hundreds every day somewhere else. Nothing good's going on in this planet. We have not created one spiritual thing in 100 years. Why is that? Never mind 100,000 years, we have become massive killers, savages, and you name it. It wasn't the native people. So, where do we go from here, people? Are you ready to make a change in your life? How? And what are you going to do? Look for the facts. Look for the truth. Don't listen to these people. Don't feed them money. You know when you go to a conference, man, a couple thousand people there, guess who gets paid the most? One of the most ignorant speakers that are there. Like a radio host, I'm not going to say his name. People, one of the main speakers will get roughly $20,000, people, to speak for 2 hours or an hour, and they're forced to have dinner with people on a Friday night, and then everybody sits around them. Yeah, wow. And you got to pay for that too. But all the money you dish out, you're not going to get anything important back for it. Do you expect to see aliens? No. But people take people at night to watch the alien ships at nighttime. You can. If you go out and buy night vision goggles, they're about $3,500 to $4,000. But you will see ships nonstop all night. If you can afford them. I can't. I looked through them a couple times and they're incredible. But you'll see everything, even bugs up close and everything that's flying between you and the stars, and but ships doing weird things and everything else. It's great fun at one point, but realize it's real what you're looking at. When you know UFOs are there, then suddenly it's a big different picture. What are they doing? What do they really want? Which is what the UFO people say. What do they want? What do they want? Why are they here? They won't hurt us. No, they won't. They abduct people every single day. Many don't come back. Many lose their children. People, I work with women I was 19. I saw evidence, actual physical hospital evidence. A woman was pregnant. 2 days later, she went back to the hospital. There was not a trace of her being pregnant. At 8.9 months pregnant, then a year later, she was allowed to see her son, and she was told she'll only get to see it one time. All right, they came back 2 years later, took her second child. But I met women like that. So it's nothing good that they do. And if they were dropping gold bricks in front of everybody's house, that might be cool for a while. But what could they do that would be beneficial for us? Stop war. But they don't. They need bodies, they need blood, they need food. We're cattle to them, people. That's why they're here. They're raising us, not to be superhumans. Oh, before I forget this too. I was next to a Bigfoot. I'm talking about a foot away. It was right next to me. And but there's a movie, video, real documentary online on TV about Russia. Stalin and Hitler were both working, and this is for real people, I'm not making it up, working with a Bigfoot. They were trying to clone him with humans, and they did. But it became a killer, and they had to kill it, the one that they actually created. But this is going on for a while, people. You know, we're still trying to prove that Bigfoot's real. I mean, I know it's real, but most people, oh, it's not real. But it is. Just about everything you can imagine is real somewhere. Maybe not on this planet, but maybe some other one. But a lot of them were brought here. The human races, 9 were brought here. 4 races were stuck here. You have to accept that. What race brought us here? Well, it was more of I'd say, a deity rather than an alien. And I don't want you to say it because you'll twist it with the story that mankind has made about Philip the Atlantean. All right, Atlantis was the first continent. That was the first place of the Garden of Eden on planet Earth. And there were 9 races here. So he brought 9 races here. All right. There's a council of 9, which very few people talk about, that control all the things that happen in the lower realm, meaning the astral and the physical world. They're not there to describe them. They can control things. But what are they? I don't know. I never really met with them. Never wanted to. But they fight with each other. So if one says, well, let's have an earthquake destroy half of the planet, the other one says, well, no, we don't want to do that. They debate those kind of things. Really, people. Everything's created by somebody or something. We were created, not by the Anunnaki, by God. We were put here for a reason. And the UFO world doesn't talk about that reason, people. They don't talk about the reason what we are and why aliens are coming after us as well. Soul, people, is a word you need to know. It's what we truly are inside this body. When you die, soul, what you are, leaves it. That's what you truly are. Now, Barbara Marciniak put out a book years ago. Read it about that. She explains how alien races could absorb the souls before they get into the next astral plane. If a soul is unaware and it dies, it could become a ghost, it could become a spirit, but it also goes through the lower realm, and it can be sucked up by aliens. If it has no protection, no guide, no way. So there's so many things that people can't talk about. They're too afraid. Well, if everybody knew the truth about this, that, and the other thing, well, guess what? You're stuck in the middle of it without any knowledge, which makes it even worse. Because when you die, what do you think is going to happen to you? And then you listen to Anki and stuff saying, well, we made a commitment to aliens in past lives. I met many people at a UFO conference. Well, I made commitments with aliens to come back and to be abducted by them? What kind of commitment is that? I'd rather make a commitment to God. Say, I want to get closer to you and get back out of this hell world. If you had intelligence, if you had a brain, if you had compassion, love, and all those other words, but you don't. You think you do. Now, another word, which I'm going to get into, which has nothing to do with aliens, is called ascension. UFO people are saying they went to ascension, like David Icke, Wilcock, and people like that. Wilcock, well, I went to ascension. He did a show with some other person. I attacked both of them greatly for a word, because they both said, well, we both went, Denny Brinkley, if you know who he is, Saved by the Light. He wrote the bestseller for about 3 years. I challenged him. I met him personally, had lunch with him. He admitted many things beyond anybody would ever imagine he would say. But they were both talking about ascension. I said, no, you have no clue what ascension is. I mean, in Tibet, they have this thing that a high lama goes through. The body shrinks up when they're dying, and they're dead, they're little. And they get burnt and they leave a crystal or a ruby, a diamond, or something there as well. Everybody has a small crystal in their brain, and that was only found out maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I would say, roughly. I don't remember when, but I know one of the class I was in Kunlun, one of the people was a scientist, and they found it. But there's reasons for that too. There's reasons for everything, people. Whether you're willing to find it or not, it's a different story. Mankind doesn't know the reason, so they upset every single thing. We're destroying the planet greater than the way it would destroy itself. When we go through ice ages and things like that naturally, but mankind increases their technology to create that, to make it happen faster and sooner. The earthquake chart has never been this bad, ever. Are aliens doing it? The government doing it? Both can be. Want to destroy a country, a city, or whatever. Well, we're going to have a bad earthquake soon. I'd say within 6 months. We've been having ones up to 7 over the past 6 months already. In the past 100 years, it has never been this bad as it has been the past year. We get anywhere from 5 to 10 earthquakes over 5.0 in a day. Now, if you know anything about aliens and UFOs, they go in and out of volcanoes. Here in Hawaii, my friend, when I first came here, goes, you want to see some videos I got filmed the ships going in and out of the volcano? He goes, put them on TV. They were kind of blurry and everything else. I said, no, it's not high enough quality to put it out there mainstream. But if you go to the volcanoes and things and watch it, I watched so many things crash and come down and things like that in my life. When an alien ship lands into the ground, goes into the ground, they don't put a hole in it. High technology. But see, getting back to Tesla when he was working up with DuPont, that story up there of Wanaka, New Jersey, is the most important UFO story. Because it was 9 months long, people. So one day I'll get into it if you want, people. But people don't want the truth. I don't expect many listeners to listen. They hear something, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. Well, you don't like the truth. That's why. Lies. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. Anything that sounds good. You know the old saying, if it sounds too good, it's probably not? Well, if it sounds good, it's not. Because you're here in hell. You're not here in the Garden of Eden anymore. It was destroyed, people. So think about that. When you go to a conference, you're going to pay money, pay $2,000, go away for a weekend, 3 or 4 days, to get a bunch of false information and stories about disclosure and good aliens. Really, there are none. If you think you had an experience with one, it's not. It's a program. Did they give you a gold brick? Did they give you diamonds? Did they give you anything beneficial? Healings come easy, temporary. A lot of the false psychics can give you a false healing. That'll last 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. But it won't go past your death, that's for sure. And the karma that you have with that will be with you still. No person on this planet can take other people's karma away from them. Oh, I took your karma. Even Oprah was working with Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle all the time. And that's a long story. But when she was with Eckhart Tolle, she goes, I have no karma. And I have no ego. Ever since she said that, I've been trying to talk to her for 22 years, and she wouldn't even get back to me. She's afraid to. I did every 21-day workshop she did with Deepak and Ekitoli. Wrote many letters in there. I'm surprised they stayed up, but she never got back to me. She has a house in Hawaii. I missed her. She came to the store in town. I was just going in another store, and she came in. But she owns a house right near the HARP system in Hawaii, on top of a mountain. She actually owns the road goes across the whole mountain. She opens it when she wants to. People, all these people that we give respect to don't deserve it. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah, instant karma, right? I don't know one person that I would consider spiritual on this planet. Seriously. I've been trying to find somebody that I could at least talk to on a spiritual level. Tina Bird, who I do my show with, is a great person. Been abducted half of her life, on and off, radioactive, very sickly, becoming famous, but it's all good. She doesn't claim to be spiritual. She says she's not. God didn't help her. Angels didn't help her. The government didn't help her. So who she trust? Nobody. Who should she trust? Nobody's going to help her. She's going to the hospital every month, different things. They can't tell her different things. The things they did to her prove she's not under normal conditions. What they found in her body, what they do to her body, the aliens when they get her, is incredibly horrible. She's got the most serious story about abduction and proof. So people, I'm not going to go much further. She isn't well. Her hair's, I don't know if she's losing her hair. She always was losing her hair ever since we found out she was radioactive and everything else. But she's going through so many symptoms. Never mind a broken leg. It's not healing. It's almost 4 months already. And she's radioactive. And we prove it every show we do. People love to tell stories. Even if they have a small story, whatever it was, they'll mold it into a great story, and it gets better every year. My stories never change because it's the truth. I can't say what didn't happen when it did, or I can't say what will happen when it hasn't happened. I got a book. You want to see it? It's cool. It's short. It's big print. It's a big book. But she had a hard time getting that printed. It took her 2 years to get that book printed. 4 different companies said the printing couldn't print it, and they couldn't do this, and couldn't. Everybody was fighting her over that book, but she got it out. But I got it in my other room, but it's a big book. It's not little, but it's a great truth about what she went through. And if you want to know what abduction really is, read it. Because people think, oh, I want to get on a ship. All these people in the UFO world, they go to conferences. Oh, I'd love to be taken on a ship. Oh, really? Mr. Musk is going on and on about going to Mars. And I said, look, you know what you're going to find on Mars? Nothing you want. All right? Good, I'm glad. Now, Mars is bad. It's not a place we need to go or want to go now, or should want to go. We can't take care of planet Earth. We don't need to go to the moon and Mars. Even though there's many people and races going there and thinking it's going to be better and all that other kind of stuff. It's not. If we can't take care of our home planet, what makes anybody think they can take care of another one that has nothing on it? Sure, we're putting things on there and everything else, but we'll do the same thing there as we did here. Look what we did to the native people. The United States slaughtered the native people. 50 million native people. They weren't even aliens. They were just people from England and London and Spain came in and just slaughtered the native people. Well, I'm not going to get into the Constitution because that's based on all that as well. But, people, you want a book on how to see a UFO? Text me, hawksblood1aol.com. It's a field manual, but it's a PDF file, so you could download it and read it. I talk a little bit about spiritual stuff in there because if you're going to try to get involved with UFOs, do you want to meet them? Do you want to get abducted? Do you want any of those things really? And you should think about that. You open yourself too much, you bring it into your reality, whatever it is. Yeah, large funds, good, bad, or indifferent. And hopefully you don't want that stuff in your life. If you're trying to attain spiritual awareness, those things are not going to help you. The five passions of the mind keep you here, don't help you get away from this planet. And love is not the answer for anything, people. It might have been in Atlantis, but love did not exist for 100,000 years. Did you know that? Love was only created 2,020 years ago. Women were slaves, always. Victim of men's ego, always. Not that it's much better now. It's not much better at all. I put a book out. It should be finished, hopefully, in a month, within this month. And it's for women only, though. Because it's about women protecting themselves from male's mental ego, mental mind. All right, how they think, what they want, what they do, why they do it. All right, people, I'm going to end it here. Please send this link to everybody you know. Send it to all your UFO friends if you have any. Put it on every site you can. I'm not doing this for money, people. It's to try to wake people up to find the truth. It's out there. All right? If you believe every speaker you hear, you're going to be in serious trouble. Anybody channeling something. Does God need to come down and be channeled down in this realm? No. Does it want to come down here? Of course not. Angels do, but they don't come down and start teaching. All right, not in this world. They can't teach you how to farm and build a boat. They're not that kind of a teacher. The Muslim religion gives their whole teachings to Gabriel. And he wrote 32 phrases and stuff, and they all contradict each other if you read them, people. I'm against religion now. I went through 14 religions, found that none of them talk about a real God. Oh, everybody has a fake image of God that think of a God. All right. It's not what you want it to be. It's what it is. There's a difference. You think he cares about your sorry ass, really? Whether you go smoke a cigarette or drink a can of beer or go out and beat somebody up. No, it doesn't. You're in hell. And that's why you're here. Until your soul grows enough to be aware, it doesn't have to. Why would it want to think about you anyway? Even the astral plane, it gets a lot better than here. But if you can get past the astral plane, it gets incredible, people. And suddenly you'll realize, why did you stay in hell so long? Because you thought hell was really a heaven above, heaven below. No, that's bull. Everything you were told by religion's bull. Jesus was a real person. He was never God. Most spiritual person to walk the planet, yes. And now the UFO world tries to make him an alien. Billy Myers is one of the first people to do that. And again, the stories are lies, lies, lies. Everything you hear is a lie. A good alien came down and gave me what? Oh, he told me not to go to school today, not to go to work, or to do this. Really? Sorry, people, you're living in delusion. Come out of it. Wake up, people. It's all about you attaining awareness, so you don't have to come back here again. You believe all this stuff, you'll just come back and be part of another alien race in another time. Oh, well, that sounds like... Inky makes it sound good. Oh, wow, you're experiencing cheap thrills in the physical body that feels pain, sees, and creates suffering and all that. You don't want that, do you? Your soul body doesn't feel pain. Can't burn it, can't chop it up, can't do anything to it. With that, people, hope you got something out of today. Love and light. Don't take any wooden nickels. Always look for the truth. Of course, God created aliens, and they're there for a reason, too. They're lower than us, people. They're not higher than us. Till next time, from the Big Island of Hawaii.